Hello. Now today we're going to be looking at the subject of death. Maybe you've lost someone close recently. Maybe you have trouble with processing the passing of another. Well, I know I have in the past. When members of my family have passed, my dog passed away a few years ago, and just recently a singing artist that I was very fond of passed away. And there's a whole bunch of emotions that go on. And there are a number of resources to help people deal with this. Now, if you want to go straight forward to the tap along, then I'll put a notice or some text up here to tell you at what part of the tap to go forward to on the slider below. But I wanted to let you know about a valuable resource that I've used many times. It's a website called recoverfromgrief.com. And it details the 7 stages of grief and how you go through the process. And it details how normal all stages of the process are. Stage 1 is about shock and denial. And you'll probably react to learning of the loss with numbed disbelief. You may deny the reality of the loss at some level in order to avoid the pain. Shock provides emotional protection from being overwhelmed all at once, and this may last for a few weeks. Stage 2 is pain and guilt. As the shock wears off, it's replaced with the suffering of unbelievable pain and heartache. Although excruciating at times and unbearable, it is important that you experience the pain fully and not hide it, not avoid it or escape from it with alcohol or drugs. You may have guilty feelings or remorse over the things you did or didn't do with your loved one. Life feels chaotic and scary during this phase, but it doesn't last forever, and it is quite normal to experience it. Stage 3 is about anger and bargaining. Frustration gives way to anger. You may lash out and lay unwanted blame for the death on someone close. Please try to control this, as permanent damage to your relationships may result. This is a time for the release of bottled up emotions. You may rail against fate, questioning why me. You may also try to bargain in vain with the powers that be for a way out of your despair. I will never drink again if you just bring him or her back. Stage 4 is about depression, reflection, and loneliness, but not clinical depression, just a very low period of your life. Just when your friends may think you should be getting on with your life, a long period of sad reflection will likely overtake you. This is a completely normal stage of grief, so do not be talked out of it by well-meaning outsiders. Encouragement from others is not helpful to you during this phase of grieving. During this time, you finally realise the true magnitude of your loss, and it depresses you. You may isolate yourself on purpose, reflect on things you did with your lost one, and focus on memories of the past. You may even sense feelings of emptiness or despair, but this is quite normal. Stage 5 is the upward turn. As you start to adjust to life without your dear one, your life becomes a little calmer and more organised. Your physical symptoms lessen and your depression begins to lift slightly. Stage 6. Reconstruction and working through. As you become more functional, your mind starts working again, and you will find yourself seeking realistic solutions to problems posed by life without your loved one. You will start to work on practical and financial problems and reconstructing yourself and your life without your loved one. Stage 7 is acceptance and hope. During this, the last of the 7 stages in this grief model, you learn to accept and deal with the reality of your situation. Acceptance does not necessarily mean instant happiness. Given the pain and turmoil you have experienced, you can never return to the carefree, untroubled you that existed before this tragedy. But you will find a way forward. You will start to look forward and actually plan things for the future. Eventually, you will be able to think about your lost loved one without the pain, sadness, and yes, but the wrenching pain will be gone. You will once again anticipate some good times to come, and yes, even find joy again in the experience of living. So, there you have it. And now it's time to tap. So what I want you to do is think about the sadness, the loss of love, the disbelief, the shock, and tap along with me now. There are 7 stages that you need to go through, and you will feel them at different times, but know that it's temporary, and it is a process that's completely normal for you to experience. But tapping of a few acupuncture points can lessen the grief, the overwhelm, the pain, the heartache. So sit back, relax, and tap along with me now. Take a slow, deep breath. And gently start tapping the back of the hand. Just relax. Just tap along with me and repeat my words. Even though I'm feeling shock, disbelief, or maybe even denial, I deeply and completely accept the situation. And even though I'm feeling the pain of heartache and guilt, I deeply and completely accept the situation. And even though I'm feeling anger and some despair, some separation, it's completely normal for me to experience these emotions. And I accept the situation right now. Take a deep breath and tap the start of the eyebrow. This shock, disbelief and denial, I release it and let it go. I accept my situation right now. Tap the side of the eye. The pain of the loss, the heartache, the grief and the guilt. I release it and let it go. Any overwhelm that I'm feeling, it's safe to let it go. Any anger, despair, blame that I might be feeling, I willingly release and let go. The shock, the disbelief, the denial, feeling numb. I accept these feelings as normal, and I let them go, along with any overwhelm. Tap the chin. I willingly release any anger, any despair, and I deeply and completely accept the situation. The shock, the disbelief, the denial, the heartache, the guilt, the anger, the despair. I accept it as completely normal when experiencing a death of someone close. It's okay for me to have this experience. Tap under the arm. Any overwhelm of emotion, I allow my body to release the overwhelm. I deeply and completely accept the situation. And I choose to deal with it the best way I can. Take a deep breath, go back to the start of the eyebrow. I deeply and completely accept my situation. It's safe for me to process what's happened and release the overwhelm. It's safe for me to process what's happened and release the overwhelm. I accept my situation. I am safe. I am secure. And I am grounded. It's safe for me to experience this loss and process it the best way I can. I release the pain. I release the heartache. Any anger, blame, or guilt. I accept these emotions as normal and release them. Along with any overwhelm, any aches, any pains, any stresses, any strains. All the discord. All the overwhelm of emotion is part of the normal process that we experience with death and loss. It's completely normal to feel this way. I allow my body to release the overwhelm, the sadness, the loss of love. Tap under the arm, any anger, any stress, any fear. I release and let go. It's safe for me to go through this process and deal with it the best way that I can. I accept my situation and I allow myself the time and the patience to grieve in a time and space that's appropriate for me. So bring me the best of all the relief, of the overwhelm I can receive right now. Stop tapping. Take a deep breath. And relax and let go. Well done. It's never easy dealing with death. Part of you feels left behind. It's a path you're yet to tread. But it's something we will learn to deal with. You just need time to process it. So come back. Tap this tap as many times as you feel you're getting benefit. Maybe within time you'll start to switch the focus to the good times. The happy memories, what you learned, what you shared, what you experienced. Then soon you'll be able to think about them and just feel blessed for having known them and having shared those interactions, that love with them. So I hope this tap's been helpful. Share it with anyone you know who may be grieving at this time. And I hope it helps. Take care. I'll see you on another video soon. Cheers.